Maybe it's for the best that Jack Reacher doesn't keep pets after Reacher Season 3's hard-to-believe story about cats and coffee beans. Fully embedded into Xavier Quinn's arms-dealing operation, Alan Bridgson's Reacher character gets to enjoy a brief spell of luxury as the live-in bodyguard of Quinn's subordinate, Zachary Beck. While staying at Beck's mansion in Reacher Season 3, Reacher enjoys the culinary delights cooked up by Agnes, the delightfully straight-talking housekeeper. The coffee, however, Reacher isn't so keen on. To his great surprise, Agnes explains that Beck's expensive coffee went through a fascinating production process before finding its way into Reacher's mug. She reveals the coffee beans were fed to a cat, partially digested, then pooped out, packaged and sold to those like Beck who prefer their coffee with a certain tang. The appeal, according to Agnes, is that sending the beans through the cat beforehand enhances the taste. Reacher is unconvinced, but Season 3 does raise the question of whether this is a real-life phenomenon, or something brewed up for TV. The type of coffee discussed in Reacher Season 3 is more commonly known as civet coffee, and is very much a real thing. The process is almost exactly as Agnes describes. The Asian palm civet eats coffee beans. The beans get partially digested and fermented along the way, then are pooped out to be collected and sold for coffee drinking. The fermentation is alleged to be what improves the taste of the coffee, as well as the fact that civets carefully select the best beans to eat. There are, however, a few key points Reacher Season 3 leaves out. The civet is not strictly a cat, despite bearing a strong resemblance. So any viewers tempted to start slipping coffee beans into Felix's breakfast should stand down. Secondly, the taste benefits of civet coffee against the price is a matter of debate among aficionados. Arn Pruitt at Coffiness admitted, "I'd have automatically slapped a mid-range ranking on any other coffee beans that tasted like that." A review from the Washington Post went further, calling the beverage terrible. Reacher, it appears, is far from alone. While the taste of any coffee, pooped or not, is always subjective, the production of civet coffee has also raised animal welfare concerns. PETA investigated the farming of civet coffee and claims to have unearthed cruel practices that cast an ethical shadow over an already controversial cup of joe. Jack Reacher is not a funny man, and, accordingly, Prime Video's Reacher is not an inherently funny series. To keep from taking itself too seriously, however, Reacher has successfully managed to weave a subtle layer of humor in between the silent glares and mountains of dead henchmen. Usually, such gags are derived from Reacher's antisocial personality rubbing awkwardly against others, and Season 3's cat poop coffee scene is a perfect example of this. Reacher's sheer disbelief that such a drink exists, and that people would pay a lot of money to taste it, is where the humor comes from. On one hand, the pretentious Beck, with more money than he knows what to do with, purchases coffee that comes from a cat's excrement. On the other, Reacher's title character, a simple man who has tasted coffee from diners all across the United States, is distinctly unimpressed by his new employer's fancy beans. Reacher's sheer disbelief that such a drink exists, and that people would pay a lot of money to taste it, is where the humor comes from. Usually a man who pays no mind to trends, even Reacher finds amusement in the concept of coffee that comes from a cat's anus. If you're a fan of Reacher, you already know the series is packed with action, mystery, and some truly bizarre moments. But the internet has been buzzing with one particularly strange rumor about Reacher Season 3, a wild story involving cats and coffee beans. Yes, you read that right. So, is this WTF story true? Or is it just another internet hoax? Let's break it down. The buzz about Reacher Season 3 and its alleged subplot featuring cats and coffee beans seems to have originated from an anonymous leak on social media. A so-called insider claimed that a major episode in the upcoming season would feature Jack Reacher unraveling a crime involving an international smuggling ring that uses coffee beans to transport something illegal, possibly diamonds, microchips, or even something far weirder. But here's where it gets even crazier. According to the leak, cats somehow play a crucial role in the entire scheme. If you've watched any crime thriller or read enough mystery novels, you know that coffee beans have been a popular choice for smugglers in real life. Their strong aroma can throw off drug-sniffing dogs, and they're small enough to conceal illegal goods effectively. In the Reacher universe, this makes for a plausible, if not slightly over the top, criminal operation. But how do cats fit in? That's the part that is everyone scratching their heads. The rumor suggests that trained cats might be used to retrieve hidden packages in coffee warehouses, or that Reacher himself encounters a gang that uses feline accomplices in their illegal dealings. While this sounds insane, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. After all, Reacher isn't exactly a show that sticks to conventional storytelling. A few die-hard fans have even pointed out that Lee Child's Reacher novels occasionally feature oddball moments that blend humor with gritty crime drama. Could Season 3 be leaning into the bizarre for one of its subplots? As of now, Amazon has kept a tight lid on Reacher Season 3's official plot details. However, we do know a few things. Alan Ritchson is returning as Jack Reacher, and filming is already underway. The season is rumored to adapt Persuader, one of the most intense books in the Reacher series. There will be new villains, unexpected twists, and, of course, Reacher being his usual unstoppable self. Nowhere in any official reports has there been mention of coffee bean smuggling rings or feline masterminds. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. Sometimes, showrunners throw in unexpected subplots just for fun. While the idea of a Reacher episode centered around coffee beans and cats sounds completely absurd, it's the kind of weird detail that could end up being true in some form. Whether it's just a throwaway joke, a minor background detail, or an actual plot device remains to be seen. So, until Amazon Prime drops the official trailer, we'll have to wait and see if Reacher's toughest opponent yet is a coffee bean cartel, or a bunch of highly trained cats. Either way, it's going to be one wild ride.